All right, let's dive into the hidden world of civil drafting. You know, it's the essential bridge between some grand idea and the actual tangible reality of the roads, bridges, and cities that we use every single day.
I mean, just look at this thing. Have you ever been driving on a massive highway interchange and just had your mind blown, wondering how? How does something this complicated even start? Who makes sure all those ramps and overpasses line up just right? Well, that's exactly what we're going to break down.
The answer, it turns out, starts with a field that's literally all around us, shaping our world in ways we barely even notice. So let's pull back the curtain.
And that field is civil engineering. Now, the official definition says it's all about the planning, design, construction, and maintenance of structures. But honestly, it's simpler than that. The building you're sitting in right now, the road just outside your window, the pipes bringing you clean water, yep, a civil engineer had a hand in all of it.
But here's the thing. Those engineers have a critical partner, someone who turns all their complex calculations and concepts into something a construction crew can actually build. So let's meet the architects of the blueprint themselves, the civil drafters.
So what's the real difference between them? Well, think of it like this. The engineer is the big picture strategist. You know, they're designing the overall project. But the drafter? The drafter is the master of detail. They take that grand vision and create the super precise drawings and models that are needed to bring it to life. They're the ones who translate the vision into the language of the blueprint.
And you can forget those old school drafting tables with the giant rulers and pencils. Today, this whole profession revolves around one incredibly powerful tool, CAD, which stands for Computer-Aided Design and Drafting. It's high-tech, it's precise, and it is absolutely essential.
Now, to use a tool like CAD effectively, drafters have to be completely fluent in a kind of universal visual language. It's a language made up of lines, symbols, and scale. It is the language of maps.
At its absolute core, a map is pretty simple, right? It's just a scaled-down, flat picture of the Earth's surface. But that simple definition hides this incredible world of variety and purpose.
First, you've got the maps you probably remember from grade school, physical maps. These show you the natural lay of the land. You know, the mountains, the valleys, the rivers.
Then you have thematic maps, which are really cool because they're designed to tell one specific story. This one, for example, its only job is to show the chances of finding permafrost in Alaska. It takes a single crucial piece of data and makes it visual.
And then you get maps that show us what's completely invisible from the surface. Geologic maps. They show us the rock formations that are literally under our feet. Now, if you're planning to build a skyscraper or dig a tunnel, this kind of info isn't just nice to have, it is absolutely critical. Maps can even be hyper-specialized for just one purpose, like military maps that use their own unique symbols to display tactical information. You see, every map solves a different kind of problem.
But for civil drafters, one type of map really reigns supreme: the topographic map. Its genius is that it solves what seems like an impossible problem. How do you accurately show the 3D shape of the land, with all its hills and valleys, on a completely flat, two-dimensional piece of paper?
And it performs this little magic trick with something called a contour line. Every single point on one of these lines is at the exact same elevation. And here's the secret sauce. The closer the lines are packed together, the steeper the ground is. It's this elegant, simple code for elevation.
And this is where it all clicks. Here, you're seeing a 3D model of a landscape with its topographic map laid right over the top. You can instantly see how those abstract, squiggly lines perfectly trace the real-world shape of the land. It's fantastic.
Okay, so now that we get the language of maps, let's see how drafters actually use it to build a real blueprint, step by step.
It all kicks off with what's called the plan view. This is the big picture, the bird's-eye view of the entire project site. It shows where everything is supposed to fit together, from property lines to road layouts.
But to actually build this thing, you need way more detail. So the drafter adds what's called a cutting plane line. You see that bold line there with the arrows labeled A? That's basically the drafter saying, okay, we're going to virtually slice through the project right here and take a peek inside.
And that slice reveals the cross-section view. This is the money shot, right here. It shows you what's happening underground, the different layers of soil, how deep the roadbed needs to be, where the utility pipes are buried. These are all the critical details that are totally invisible from that overhead plan view.
So you go from this huge idea to a detailed cross-section. It's a pretty amazing process. And for a lot of people, it's a career. So let's wrap this up by looking at the path to becoming one of these people who are, quite literally, building our future.
The whole profession is built on a solid foundation of standards. The best way to think about them is like a universal rulebook. They control everything, from how thick a line should be to what a certain symbol means, and that ensures that a blueprint from one team can be perfectly understood by another, anywhere in the world. It's this shared language that guarantees safety and reliability.
And the path to becoming a drafter is actually really direct. It usually starts with a 1 or 2 year program to master that all-important CAD software. After that, it's all about sharpening your technical and problem-solving skills, and, of course, joining professional organizations so you can keep learning and stay on top of new technology. The world we live in, it doesn't just happen. It is meticulously planned and drawn, line by these unseen architects. So the next time you see a crane in the sky or a new road being paved, just take a second and ask yourself, what unseen blueprints are shaping the world around me?